It is my pleasure to be with you for this second forum. The first one had a great turnout, as does this one. Dina was right on the money when she said it's important to make sure that you're educated about these races. We, in journalism, we talk about it's our job to inform you, but as adults, it's your job to educate yourselves. So the way this is going to play out, I'm going to ask the candidates a series of questions. They will have either 60 seconds, 90 seconds, or 2 minutes to answer the questions. That's not always fair, right? We're asking some complex questions and expecting them to answer them in a very short period of time. Somebody asked me a couple weeks ago to explain the history of the Soviet Union and how it worked with Ukraine. And if I could do that in 90 seconds on live television, that would be great. Not going to happen. So again, the responsibility will come back to you to circle back on the issues that you have an interest in learning more about. And if there's a particular question that you have for the candidates, I'm sure they'll be happy to talk to you at some point between now and the general election. So this is very important for the city of Jeffersontown for several reasons. Most notably, we talked about Mayor Dourif, who is timed out when it comes to being mayor of Jeffersontown. In Kentucky, you can only serve 3 terms. So we will be hearing from Mayor Dourif on my station later in the fall when the debate happens there. In this race, party does not matter. In the spring, as you know, voters were asked to vote for a new mayor, and the top 2 vote getters moved into this fall's general election. So in the spring, that race was very close, and the top 2 candidates move on to the fall and are currently council members. So we've got council member Ray Perkins and council member Carol Pike. Because these candidates are city council members, they did have to give up their seat on the council effective January 2023, leaving 3 open spots on the Jeffersontown City Council. This is the technical part that I need to read to you, so forgive me for actually reading from this paper here. The 8 candidates getting the most votes in those races will move on to serve for 4 years starting in January of 2023. All of these candidates are represented here tonight in the showcase, so we want to wish all of you good luck in those races. So again, this is an important turning point in the governance of the city. This is part of the reason why the leadership of the Jeffersontown Chamber of Commerce felt it was important to bring this event to you. So the outline of how this is going to play out. The forum, this is a forum and not a debate, which means these questions are pre-produced from you guys and from the chamber. Again, not coming from me. Each candidate will be asked the same question and be given the same amount of time to answer. There is no dedicated time for rebuttal, as you guys well know. And if a candidate chooses to rebut another candidate's answer, they do that inside the time frames of the answer that they have. A committee of the Jeffersontown Chamber has set up the rules for tonight's event, and it is this committee that has developed the questions with input from chamber members and community members. Each candidate will have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. I will let them know when I ask the question if it is a 1 minute, 90 second, or 2 minute question. When the candidate has 30 seconds remaining, our team will showcase a yellow sign that gives them a heads up that their time is running out. That is much nicer than an evil producer in my ear screaming rap when I'm in the middle of a sentence. I think we'll all agree. When the candidate's time is up, the candidate will see a red sign that notifies them that the time has elapsed. We anticipate being able to ask 10 to 12 questions, some being allowed 1 minute to answer, others being allowed up to 2 minutes. So let's get started. Before heading to the stage tonight, the candidates drew for the order of responses. The first draw was for the order of opening remarks. The second was for the order of responses to the questions. The third was for the order of the closing statement. With that, here we go. And I'll start with the most difficult question. Why are you guys sitting so far apart? Don't you like each other? Not a question. Don't answer, Carol. Don't answer.
Sorry. They set it up, not us.
All right, let me get you all set to go here. All right, so we have opening remarks that are set to begin now. And Carol, you are set to go first.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Carol Pike. I'm honored to stand before you tonight seeking to become the mayor of my beloved city of Jeffersontown. I'm privileged and excited to recognize Ryan Straw, chairman of the Jefferson County FOP President's Council, and their endorsement. Thank you, Ryan. And next, I would like to recognize the former mayoral candidate, Brian Abrams, for his support and his endorsement. Thank you, Brian. I'm grateful to the Jeffersontown Chamber for hosting this very important forum and for each of you being here tonight. Jeffersontown's where I grew up, have my friends, raised my daughter, helped countless families find homes, and where I'm privileged to be a servant leader on our city council as your voice. Tonight marks a pivotal time in our city's history as we move forward to elect our new leader. As your next mayor of Jeffersontown, my platform is to maintain, retain, and obtain. My voting record shows my unwavering support for the safety of our community. Enabling law enforcement to maintain the safety and security that our citizens so deserve. I will retain a strong relationship with our nationally renowned industrial park and small businesses, and I will obtain the essential services needed to protect and build our infrastructure while keeping our unique history, beauty, and hometown spirit. I hope that you will leave this evening confident that I will work as a mayor who wants to be your servant leader. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
And Carol, thank you for being aware. I did not say this, but you were already aware that this is 90 seconds. So Mr. Perkins, 90 seconds to you.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I'm excited to be here. It's a new day in Jeffersontown. We all love Jeffersontown. It's our home. We love our picnics, our Gaslight Festival, the Senior Citizen Center, the Veterans Park. The list goes on and on. My goal as mayor for the next 4 years will be to continue to improve life here. This is a great place to raise a family or settle down if you want to retire. The last 2 years have been challenging. We're living in uncertain times. Inflation has affected every aspect of our life, including taxes. They seem to be going up consistently. My pledge to you as mayor will be no new taxes. In football, offense gets all the glory, but any good coach will tell you that defense wins championships. I know most politicians will promise you the world to get your vote. That's not me. I've got plans that I'll go into more detail tonight about the future of Jeffersontown. But my main goal is don't mess it up. We've got a good thing going here. We can tweak it and improve things, but we don't have to break the bank to do it. We have to be responsible with our spending. 12 years ago, we were $18 million in debt. Now we're debt-free. And that's because of the good choices that our mayor and current administration made. Past administrations overspent and had us in a pickle. It was a typical kick the can down the road. We can't gamble with our children's future.
It's your time.
All right. Sorry, got a little long-winded.
You do have the first question, though, so perhaps an opportunity to continue.
Sure.
This is a 90-second answer. Again, this question by order of the draw goes to Mr. Perkins. The question is, what is your vision for the city of Jeffersontown?
What is what? What was that question?
Thank you for the question. That's a pretty broad question, but I'll try to keep it within 90 seconds. Basically, is to continue on the path we're on right now. Like I was saying, we were $18 million in debt 12 years ago. Now we're debt-free. And I want to make sure we stay debt-free. We just have to be responsible with our spending. Going forward, we're going to have to recruit more businesses to locate here in Jeffersontown. We have a lot of competition. When it first started out, we were the only option. There's a lot of newer ones out there, and so we need to work on giving a facelift to our current park. I think we can do that through increased lighting, which I think will reduce the crime over there. I think we can do some plantings, maybe make it more of a boulevard effect, more modernizing it. I don't want to change a whole lot. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. but we will be tweaking it to make it better. Small things can make big differences, and they don't have to cost a lot of money. And I guess that's my real platform is fiscal responsibility. We've got to be careful with how we spend our money.
All right, this same question to you, Ms. Pike. That question is, what is your vision for the city of Jeffersontown? And all three of us have a note to speak a little bit closer to our microphones.
Okay.
Again, the question is 90 seconds for the answer. The question is, what is your vision for the city of Jeffersontown?
My vision is to maintain the expert leadership we currently have in place. We do not want to lose our momentum and sustain our tremendous growth we have worked so hard to achieve. For now, the current cabinet members that I have, I would like for them to stay. If any of them choose to exit, I would like to have an exit interview with these people and ask them to stay on while we hire knowledgeable people in the same position. Our chief of police, if we do not keep our current chief, I would work with the new chief. The city attorney, the same criteria would go for him. I have always learned, and I learned this from a long time ago, I've been here a long time. Daniel Rodrigo once told me, he says, Carol, he said, always surround yourself with people smarter than you. And you know what? I never forgot that. And for the last 40 years that I have been on the city council, I feel like we have done that. That is my vision. I want the Jeffersontown to become, I want us to keep on the path that we're going. I want us to, the downtown, I want to keep growing. I'm excited about all the projects that we have that is in order right now, and I have great plans for the future, and I'm sure your next question I will tell you about. Thank you very much.
Ms. Pike, the second question is for you. This is a 1-minute answer. How is my microphone?
It's good.
Much better? All right, so this is a 1-minute question. This goes to you first. Jeffersontown has not had a new mayor in 12 years. What are the top 2 or 3 pressing issues for our community today?
Okay. I've got a whole bunch on that. I could talk longer than that. The most pressing issues today is safety. That's number 1. Economic development. That's number 2. And infrastructure. That's number 3. Investment in the state-of-the-art police headquarters. Investment in the public health that goes along with the police headquarters. We have several programs that are involved with the police headquarters, such as drug reduction problems and victim services. Economic development, support the current businesses and obtain new ones, create new jobs to sustain the growth and prosperity of our city and its residents for generations to come. The infrastructure, we got to maintain the roads, we have to have street cleaning, we have to have the sewer and drainage go on, but I think the infrastructure, I'm so excited about the ped path. And pretty soon, we're going to be one big circle that you can walk from the amphitheater to the police department to downtown J-Town. And this is my vision, and to work with the new, sorry, I have to stop.
All right, Mr. Perkins, 60 seconds to you. What are the top 2 or 3 pressing issues for our community today?
Well, I think number 1 in everyone's mind is community safety. We've seen the turmoil in downtown Louisville, and for the most part, Jeffersontown's been spared that. And it's because of our great leadership and our police department. I have confidence that Mayor Durff is going to be able to get that under control, but we're going to have to be able to stand on our own. He's not going to be here to hold our hand anymore. I'm sure he's a call away if we need him, but he won't be here every day. And so we're going to have to continue the place that we call home and keep it safe. I think physical responsibility has got to be right up there with it. It's nice to have new things, but you got to pay for those. And whether you pay for them now or you pay for them later, they've got to be paid for. And I've got some concerns with where the money's going to come from in the future. If 25% of the people don't go back to the office, it will severely impact the budget of Jeffersontown. And I've got to stop.
The next question, Mr. Perkins. We'll go to you. This is a 90-second question, or answer rather. At least 3 of the city council members will be new after this election. What will you do to collaborate with your city council members to have a positive impact on the city of J-Town? I'm happy to repeat the question. At least 3 of the city council members will be new after this election. What will you do to collaborate with your city council members to have a positive impact on the city of J-Town? 90 seconds.
You know, it's all about communication. You know, we've got to work together. It's not enough to show up twice a month on a Tuesday night for an hour and expect everybody to be on the same page. We've got to talk. We've got to figure out, you know, what you're hearing from your constituents that's important in their mind so that we can address those issues. And sometimes, you know, I think we get busy and that gets lost. We can't let it get lost. We've got to keep those open lines of communication between the council and the citizens. And so I would work with them to get their input on all decisions. It's not enough, like I say, just to show up on a Tuesday night and vote yes or no.
Ms. Pike, this is 90 seconds to you also. Repeating the question, at least 3 of the city council members will be new after this election. What will you do to collaborate with your city council members to have a positive impact on the city of J-Town?
I want my city council members to be an active part of my administration. It's happening. So, can I start again? No? Now it's on. Okay. Thank you. I want my city council members to be a part of my administration. I intend on every Friday to give them a letter stating what has gone on in the mayor's office that week. I want them to know and I want them to be a part of everything that we do. I will also call upon my city council to be at some events and to be more active in our community than they are. It's so important that our citizens know what's taking place in the city council, and most people don't know. I hate to say this and get off the subject, but it seems like that a lot of us find our information out from Mr. Cravens. Thank you, Eddie Cravens. But anyway, I just want to say I want my administration to be a part of me, and I will continue to do that and have them work with me. Thank you.
All right, we are looking for a 2-minute answer here. This is question number 4. Ms. Pike, it will go to you first. Let's talk public safety. Mayor Deariff has mentioned on several occasions that he will invite Chief Sanders to join him if he is elected mayor of Metro Louisville. What is the process you will implement to search for a new police chief? Repeating the question. Again, this answer expectation is 2 minutes. Talking about public safety, the mayor has mentioned on several occasions that he will invite the J-Town Chief of Police to join him in Louisville if he is elected mayor of Metro Louisville. What is the process you will implement to search for a new police chief?
I will include our present chief, if he so leaves. I will include our present chief, my counsel, and all knowledgeable parties, including my attorney, and we will interview the most knowledgeable and qualified candidate for the position. I would like for someone to be, of the new police chief, to be familiar with municipal law, and I also want them to work hand in hand with our officers, and I will do that not behind closed doors. I'm going to invite all of our Jeffersontown Police Department to kind of take place and kind of give me some information as to what they would like to have and please them and keep the morale high. So that's what I would do. Thank you.
Mr. Perkins, what is the process you would implement to search for a new police chief?
Well, honestly, I already have a new police chief picked out. He's a local guy. His name's Rob Jones. He grew up here in Jeffersontown. He's lived here his whole life. He's a former Metro police officer. He's a former United States Secret Service. He is currently a supervisor with the ATF. So he's more than qualified. And what's most important about Rob is J-Town is his home. It's been his home his whole life. He cares about J-Town. He's not looking to go anywhere else. You won't find anybody who cares more about Jeffersontown than Rob Jones. And of course, it would have to be approved by the council. But I think most of the council knows Rob, and I think they would support him as well.
Question 5, Mr. Perkins, will go to you first. This is a 2-minute answer expectation. The Jeffersontown Police Department will break ground on a new headquarters this year. How did you vote on this investment in public safety? Please explain.
Well, you know, I have toured the current building, and it definitely needs repairs. The floor is bouncy. The evidence room is cramped and too small. You can literally smell the marijuana in the halls. But that building is a steel structure. It's solid. We've spent $500,000 in the last 5 years putting on a new roof, new air conditioning. The interior walls are nothing but room dividers. And I believe for about $2.5–3 million, we could have remodeled that and made it really, really nice. The council has chosen to go a different direction. So we're gonna live with it. You know, what's done is done. We've got to move forward. And I don't think that's the most important place to spend the money for the police department. I would look at new equipment. We have some, but I'd like to have more cameras. We have cameras now that can read license plates. So if you see a license plate at 4 o'clock in the morning over in the industrial park that maybe shouldn't be there, you can check it out. We've had a lot of catalytic converter thefts over there and trailer thefts, mail thefts, thousands of dollars. So that's where I would put the money. Another thing you're going to have to look at, I think everybody knows that wages have gone up dramatically. It's not just the restaurant business or the construction business, it's everything. And we're going to have to pay our officers more money to keep getting them in. You know, years ago, we would get 200 applications for every officer position. You know, last one, we got 25. There's just not as many good officers out there to go around. And if we're going to be competitive, we're going to have to pay them more. Same thing with public works. If you don't pay these guys, they're going to go someplace else. It's the market is what the market is. It sets the parameters. We may not like it, but if we're going to continue to have a city, we're going to have to play under those rules.
Repeat the question for you. 2 minutes for your answer. The Jeffersontown Police Department will break ground on a new headquarters this year. How did you vote on this investment in public safety? Please explain.
First of all, I would like to refer back to the previous question about the police chief. It was my understanding, Mr. Perkins, that we cannot hire any personnel until we have proclaimed that you're mayor. So to hire somebody right now and offer them the job and to fire our existing police chief, that's not nice. That's the first thing. Second thing, I voted yes, unlike my opponent. I voted for the new police department. We got ARF money, which is federal money that we received. We got almost $8 million that we have failed to, I think my opponent has failed to tell that it's going to cost all this money. It is going to cost a lot of money, but we received a lot of federal money. So therefore, it's not going to cost what I think Ray thinks it's going to cost. But it's a state-of-the-art police department. They're going to have all their tools, and we want this to be a police department for the next 50 years. These guys have to be protected in the years to come. Policing is not like it used to be years ago, and we have to protect these guys. Thank you.
Ms. Pike, this next question will come to you first. The answer expectation is 90 seconds. Again, journalistically, I will remind you, all of you in the crowd, included, of course, that I did not generate these questions. These questions come from the community and the chamber. The city of Jeffersontown is an extremely safe city. We are proud of our police department. As mayor, what strategies, plans do you have to continue to invest in the department's training and professional development? I'll repeat, that's a long one. The city of Jeffersontown is an extremely safe city. We are proud of our police department. As mayor, what strategies or plans do you have to continue to invest in the department's training and professional development? 90 seconds.
I have always endorsed and funded our police department. I've always been behind them 100%. I have served as a chairman of the safety committee for the last 12 years. I will continue to do so. As chairman of the city safety committee, I work alongside our police department to ensure our city is safe. During my time on the city council, I've served with 3 police chiefs. We will continue the education. When it comes to public safety, I believe that building and maintaining positive relationships between police and residents is critical. I have always supported our police department and I believe we must retain the same expert leadership and talented rank and file to maintain the same level of safety and protection the community expects and deserves. We will continue our DARE program, our Angel program, the Victims Advocate program, and the REACH program. As mayor, I am committed to present and future safety of our policies and strategies that we have in place right now. The police department's new headquarters is going to be second to none. I'm proud to have voted to approve the new home of our police force.
Mr. Perkins, this is a 90-second response. I'll repeat the question once again. The city of J-Town is an extremely safe city. We are proud of our police department. As mayor, what strategies, plans do you have to continue to invest in the department's training and professional development?
Well, like we've already said, I think the most important thing to all our citizens and the people who work here is their safety. And in order to recruit the best, you're going to have to pay the best. It's cut and dry. There's never enough training. You're going to constantly be improving your skills. As far as the police department, Carol and I differ on that. I would have rather spent $3 million on revamping the current one, but that ship has sailed. We're going with the new one. She says I call it COVID money. There's other acronyms for it, but only $8 million of it had to be spent on buildings of that sort. And we're going to spend between the amphitheater and the police station about $20 million. So will we be broke? No. And I commend Mayor Durff. When he came in office, we were $18 million in debt. Even with these 2 projects, we won't be over a couple $1 million in debt. So he's left us in such a better position than we were before. What we've got to be concerned about, again, if the statistics hold true that 25% of the people don't go back to the office, that's where 60-some% of our budget comes from, is occupational tax. If 25% of them don't come back, we're going to be scrambling to find money to pay for things like basic services. We're talking garbage pickup, police officers, public works, parks department. I got to stop.
We are a bit past the halfway point. Everybody okay? All right? Okay, good. We will keep going. We'll just remind everybody the presence of mind that it takes to respond to these questions in real time is very high level. So in an effort to appreciate the candidates, how about one round of applause for everybody? The time management skills alone deserve applause. And that's going to be notable here. This is a 1-minute answer. 1 minute to answer this question. Mr. Perkins, this question comes to you first. Question number 7. How will you collaborate with other public safety agencies in the Jeffersontown community? How will you collaborate with other public safety agencies in the Jeffersontown community?
I assume you're talking police force, and so I would rely on my chief, Rob Jones, which I think there's nothing wrong with looking for a replacement. Like you said, Chief Sanders is already committed to going downtown with Bill. we're going to need somebody from day one who can step in and do the job and is well respected. He has those contacts with the other agencies, and I don't think he'll miss a beat. I think we'll get the job done and continue to lead Jeffersontown on the path it's on.
Repeating the question, Ms. Pike, how will you collaborate with other public safety agencies in the Jeffersontown community? 60 seconds.
With other public safety agencies, was that the question?
Yes. How will you collaborate with other public safety agencies in the Jeffersontown community?
Well, I will depend upon my police chief at that point. I expect to have good working relationship with our new mayor of Louisville, and we will have those, all the REACH programs, the ANGEL programs, and we will have our SRO officers, and we will continue to keep communication alive. That's the key. We have to communicate between departments. Okay, thank you.
Question 8 is a 2-minute answer. We're going to shift gears here and talk about economic development. The city has an economic development manager. Jeffersontown has one major business park located within the boundaries of Jeffersontown and one that borders the city and contributes to the Jeffersontown economy in a significant way. What are your strategies to retain the jobs we have in this area and to continue economic growth? Specifically, the question again, what are your strategies to retain the jobs that we have in this area and to continue economic growth? Ms. Pike, 2 minutes.
I think that the economic growth will come from the city working hand in hand with our Chamber of Commerce and our economic development personnel. I expect and will ask of that department to be proactive in getting people and telling them and selling our city. Our city is such a great place to locate, and our industrial park. We have so many things to offer, and I want Jeffersontown to be a place to live, work, and play, and we've got to get that word out there. Industrial park, we survive off industrial park, and we need them. And if we don't have the industrial park, our citizens today will not realize the services that they have and what a gift that they have by living here, paying less than 14 cents per 100 at the house for their daily services, their garbage, their recyclables, their police officers. And we have so many departments there that do up and above. For instance, the police department goes, if you're on vacation, they go out and check your house on 3 different shifts. I mean, how many cities offer such a nice plus? And that's all due because we have to maintain our industrial park. We're going to have a communication. We have committees with the industrial park, and we will work hand in hand with this chamber.
Again, Mr. Perkins, what are your strategies to retain the jobs we have in this area and to continue economic growth? Reminding you, 2 minutes for your answer.
I plan on taking a personally active role in recruiting businesses to Jeffersontown. And what I mean by that is working with Dina and the chamber. They have the contacts with other businesses throughout the county and surrounding counties to get them to relocate to Jeffersontown. As I've said before, our industrial park is so important to our city. It's the occupational tax alone is 66% of our budget, but when you combine that with the insurance premium tax and their property taxes, it's more like 80% of their budget. We cannot survive without a strong business community, and we have to nurture that relationship. We have a jobs program now that new jobs that come to town, there's a process to go through, but you can get 0.5% back for each of those employees for the first 5 years. I think we need to revitalize the industrial park. It's shown its age, it's dated. I would like to create more of a boulevard feel with some islands in the middle, a lot more lighting to deter crime. more plantings, just to improve the look. It needs a facelift. If you've been to other industrial parks throughout the county or several counties, you'll see what I'm talking about. We can do better, and I think we can work with our people to do that. We also have a program where you can get up to $5,000 for a facade revitalization on your own building. I guess that's the main thing. Is working with the chamber to draw in more business and nurturing the relationships with the current owners so that they don't leave. You know, J-Town's biggest draw has always been its location. We're right in the middle of 64, the Waterston, and the Gene Snyder. And I think we can continue to capitalize on that.
Mr. Perkins, this next question will come to you first. It is a 1-minute answer. Nobody likes to pay taxes. Jeffersontown has a 1% occupational tax. Can you explain how this money is used for the betterment of J-Town and how you will, let me repeat. Can you explain how this money is used for the betterment of J-Town and how will you spend it when you become mayor?
Well, again, as I've been saying all night, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't see making a lot of changes. We need to keep it a safe place to work and live, and that takes money, and it all comes from the industrial park. So I don't know that you can say there's something different I would do. What we've got's working, and I think I'll just continue on that path.
Pike, nobody likes to pay taxes. Jeffersontown has a 1% occupational tax. Can you explain how this money is used for the betterment of J-Town and how will you spend it when you become mayor? 1 minute.
Thank you. I will refer to Bill Fox, who is our city accountant and city clerk. And with him and our directors, we will work together to maintain a balanced budget. And we will make sure that that money is not spent carelessly. And we will continue on the path we are as we are debt-free, and Mayor Durham and Bill Fox and all of our directors did a heck of a job with keeping us in budget. Thank you very much.
Ms. Pike, this next question will come to you first. It is a 90-second answer expectation here. What role do you feel the Jeffersontown Chamber should play in the efforts to attract and retain businesses to our region? Repeating, what role do you feel the Jeffersontown Chamber should play in the efforts to attract and retain businesses in our region? 90 seconds.
I think our goals. Okay, guys. Can you hear me? No? Now it's coming green again. Can you hear me now? No? Sorry, my mic don't work good. Okay. I think that our goal is to work hand in hand with the chamber. It is very, very important. They have a lot of knowledge that we do not have. Again, I'm going to go back to our economic development director, and I expect him to work hand in hand with the chamber. And I personally would like to go to each business. As a realtor for all these years, I sell houses, but I can also sell our town. And our town is a great place to live, work, and play. And I will sell it right along with Dina and right along with the chamber. So that's how we will continually work with them. Thank you.
Mr. Perkins, again, 90 seconds here. What role do you feel the Jeffersontown Chamber should play in the efforts to attract and retain businesses in our region?
You know, I've already spoken with Dina and the board about this. I would love to see them take a more active role in recruiting businesses to move to Jeffersontown. As I said earlier, I'm personally going to be active in that recruiting process. I think it means a lot when the mayor goes into an office and says, "Hey, we want you in our city," and that's what I'll do. You know, it's more of a personal approach than maybe that's been done in the past. I'm not putting down anything that's been done in the past, but that's my way. Dina seems to have a good grasp on what's going on here. And like I said, I spoke with her, and I think I'll lean on her more to get her input. She was telling me that 5 of the businesses that moved here last year came directly from contacts that she had made. And I'm excited. That's a lot. And I think we can expand on that.
Mr. Perkins, question 11 goes to you first. This is, you have 90 seconds allotted for your answer. The city of Jeffersontown has a land authority known as the Jeffersontown Economic Development Authority. Would you explain its role and your plans for its work? Repeating the question, the city of Jeffersontown has a land authority known as the Jeffersontown Economic Development Authority. Would you explain its role and your plans for its work?
The Jeffersontown Economic Development Authority was established to do things the city couldn't. It's a quasi-government entity. The city totally funds its operation. We give it all its money. But yet they have a separate board that's not elected by the people. And I'm not real crazy about it. I'm not real happy with some of the decisions they've made in the past. And, those are taxpayer dollars. Big taxpayer dollars. We've given them about $1 million. They've had some success. They have some challenges. But I guess my biggest part is we're giving taxpayer money to someone to do economic development that's not elected by the citizens. And I would like to see the city bring that back in-house.
Ms. Pike, again, reminding you this is 90 seconds to answer. The city of Jeffersontown has a land authority known as the Jeffersontown Economic Development Authority. Would you explain its role and your plans for its work?
Well, I think we each have different opinions about what the JEDA board does. I think it's a great board, and I would like to keep it. I would like to be more involved in it, and I know the council cannot be involved in it. It's a separate entity in its own. But what this does is that it allows the city to basically buy a piece of property that we think could be a great piece of development property in the future, and we will hold this property until the right business or person or entity comes available, and then it will buy it from the JEDA board, and then it will continue and it will flourish and bring new homes and businesses or income to downtown or wherever it is in Jeffersontown. So I am for the JEDA board.
Ms. Pike, question number 12 will come to you first. And I always wait till you sit down, both of you, to say that. This is a 90-second answer time frame that you have here. The city council recently took a vote on some property the city owns at College and Neal Drive. Please explain your vote on this issue. The city council recently took a vote on some property the city owns at College and Neal Drive. Please explain your vote on this issue. 90 seconds.
Okay. My vote was to decline that piece of property. Reason being is that we felt like, after talking to my cohorts on the council, we felt like that we were not well informed on that subject. We felt like that piece of property could have been developed with, hopefully what they were hoping to do is to have commercial as well as residential there. I understand that there was more than one contract on that piece of property, and we were getting pulled in many, many different directions. So for now, no more money, and I figured this up at the city council. I took that piece of property and I times it by our tax rate, and I found out that piece of property only generated $8,300 per year for that property. For $8,300, we could hold that property until the ideal situation came, and then we could sell it, or the Jeddah board could sell it. That's why I voted no for that vote.
Mr. Perkins, 90 seconds here. The city council recently took a vote on some property the city owns at College and Neal Drive. Please explain your vote on this issue.
Well, I was in favor of it. It was 17 new condo, townhouse type homes, $350,000 range. It would have brought a lot of new people within walking distance to our current businesses in Jeffersontown. And it wasn't so much about the $8,300 that Ms. Pike alluded to. There's also insurance premium tax. There's another at least 5,000 or 6,000 probably there. But I thought it was important to have new development in Jeffersontown. We have to be careful with growth. I'm all for growth, but we've already got a parking issue. It gets pretty cramped up there on Friday and Saturday nights as is. So you can keep adding and adding. Where are people going to park? True story. Louisville was bigger than Atlanta and Nashville in 1950. They've all surpassed us greatly. But do we really want to be that big? Have you ever gone to Florida and gone through Atlanta or Nashville during rush hour and sat in traffic for 2 hours? Do we want that kind of traffic jams in Jeffersontown? I'm not saying it'd be 2 hours, but do we want a traffic jam where you wait half hour, 45 minutes in Jeffersontown because we've overgrowth? I don't know. We need to look at it very carefully before we make decisions like that. I think the new homes that were proposed were extremely nice, and I thought they'd have been a great addition to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Applauding your how well you're keeping the time. I've done enough political forums to know that a lot of people running for office don't respect time, and you all do. So thank you very much. We have arrived at our last question. Mr. Perkins, it will come to you first. 90 seconds to answer this. What is your strategy to collaborate with our leaders in Frankfort? What's your strategy to collaborate with our leaders in Frankfort? 90 seconds.
I would work with our representatives and our state senators to push for legislation that's beneficial to Jeffersontown. I don't have a piece of legislation that's in the forefront of my mind right as we speak. I know some people who are currently in office, and I know some people who are running in office that will make great representatives, and I think we can have some great dialogue with them to get the job done. That's kind of a confusing question. I don't know how much is necessary to be working with Frankfort. How it works is the city, county, state, federal. They kind of lay down the law as what we're going to do, and we have to play within their boundaries. But what you can do is working with your state representatives is to form those boundaries so that they're beneficial to the city. And I would definitely be open to that.
Ms. Pike, over to you, 90 seconds to answer. What is your strategy to collaborate with our leaders in Frankfort?
Jeffersontown has deep connections in Frankfort and throughout the region. What would be my strategy would be to stay in contact with our senators, Julie Rocky Adams, Mike Nemus, and I also would be a very active member in the Kentucky League of Cities and the National League of Cities. We used to go to those all the time, and I would encourage my council to go to these events. And then you have camaraderie with your people in Frankfort and with our mayors in Louisville. So that's what I would do. I would get very active in KLC and National League of Cities, and we know our senators in Frankfort and also our mayor of Louisville, who has great relationships with the people in Frankfort. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It is time for your closing statement. This is 2 minutes to close out the evening. It will start with Mr. Perkins. Closing statement, 2 minutes, Mr. Perkins.
I'm so sorry. I've lost. Oh, here we go. I want to thank everyone again for coming out tonight. I know giving up your time, it's valuable, and you appreciate our city as much as we do. This election's important. It's nonpartisan, and I'm actually registered as an independent. But another mayor of a neighboring city famously uses the quote, potholes, no parties. Where's she at? This election is about the future of Jeffersontown and what we leave behind for our kids and grandchildren. I want to maintain our way of life. It's about priorities and responsible spending going forward. We have to continue to make good choices. I believe my experience in managing a restaurant for the last 30 years gives me a unique insight. In the restaurant business, you serve and work with a diversity of people. People with different perspectives and expectations. Being able to balance those needs and wants within a budget can be tricky. You want to be able to say yes to everything, but unfortunately, it's not feasible. We're not the federal government, and we can't print more money. This election isn't about Carol or not. We're actually friends, and I hope we remain so after the election. I mean that. She's a nice person, and I respect the 40 years that she's given to the city of Jeffersontown serving on our council. However, I don't believe that longevity of service necessarily makes her the best candidate. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. As I said in the beginning, it's all about maintaining our way of life without raising taxes. Our children and our grandchildren are depending on you to make the right choice in November. I respectfully ask for your vote. Thank you.
Your closing statement, Ms. Pike, 2 minutes.
Thank you. When you go to the polls on November 8th, the vote you cast for Jeffersontown next mayor will impact our community for the next 50 years. Your vote is sacred, covenant, and will change lives. I will be honored to have your voice of confidence. Our daily lives have been profoundly affected since March of 2020. We, the people, deserve leaders with strong convictions and integrity. When elected as mayor, I will work tirelessly alongside our city council and listen intently to your voices so that we can keep Jeffersontown as one of the greatest hometown communities in the Commonwealth. Thankfully, our city is debt-free. And as your mayor, I will work to maintain, retain, and obtain the same success we have enjoyed these past 12 years. These words guide and motivate me. I will maintain and strengthen our outstanding police force. I will support efforts to retain strong relationships with all Jeffersontown businesses. Working alongside them and on our chamber and residents, we will obtain the future industries necessary to drive the economic engine of our future while preserving the beauty and charm we have come to appreciate and expect in Jeffersontown as a wonderful place to live, work, and play. Jeffersontown is a solid and close community, and I am thankful to be a lifelong citizen of the place I call home. I've raised my family here, ran a successful business, and been a proud servant leader. It will be my privilege and honor to serve as the mayor of my hometown. I know that I am the best prepared and the most experienced candidate to lead our city and to help Jeffersontown continue to be one of the state's greatest communities. I am respectfully asking for your vote on November the 8th. Under my leadership, I will continue to maintain, retain, and obtain our success. I will always represent your voice, and I promise to not let you down. God bless and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carol Pike, Ray Perkins, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, thank you all for your interest, your presence, your time, your expertise, and your willingness to answer all of our questions. Please give it up one more time for your candidates for mayor. Thank you, thank you, thank you.